Action Daily Boost program. We are so thrilled to start another week with you. Sunday, April 27th. We are continuing into Love and Relationships Month. We're kicking off week 18, Building Strong Friendships. In this week, we're going to talk about several themes, cultivating deep, nourishing friendships that align with each chakra. And daily, as you see Priolo and I in these streets, you're going to hear about the chakra connection daily, a grounding and opening practice, a daily teaching, including affirmation, and also something that you can do as a call to action to put the principles into practice. Practice. Who's talking to you? Dr. Flo, not telling you what I heard or what I know. What I know is that you're loved and lovable. You've always been loved and lovable, and you're going to be, who's talking? It's Dr. Flo. And you're going to be loved and lovable for the rest of your life, and we can't really change that at all. I'm joined by my comrade in compassion, Tara Priolo Studio. Howdy.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Tara. I'm your resident Black biracial multi-passionate musician. I talk about the issue nobody wants to talk about and push you to do the same. And I like to hang out on this. Oh, we have pizza rolls for lunch.
Oh, I love pizza rolls.
I do not, but that's.
You give me a little bit of heartburn in my old age, but I enjoy them.
I'm a little bit scared of them. First of all, I don't like them. I have tasted them. I don't like them. But I'm scared, about the bursting thing.
The bursting?
With peas, and they're probably really hot, and then you burn them.
That is real, Priolo, because if you bite into a pizza roll that's hot in the center, but you can't tell, and it oozes out into your mouth, it could really ruin your tongue and your day. I've lost internal tissue in my mouth to pizza rolls.
That sounds scary.
It is quite scary, but they're wonderful if you can stand them, folks. Every Sunday when we come to you all, we bring inspiration on behalf of the root chakra, and Tara brought some today to share with the class.
I did. It's a We the Urban, y'all. It's a We the Urban. Per usual, I'm pulling up my screen here. There we go. Okay. Things you are not responsible for. I gotta click. Okay. You are not responsible for maintaining anyone else's happiness, especially at the expense of your own. It is not your responsibility to fix your parents' unhealed trauma. Parenting your parent while also nurturing your inner child is an overwhelming burden you shouldn't have to carry. It is not your responsibility to maintain friendships that drain you. While it can be conflicting, it's okay to outgrow people you love. It's not your responsibility to just get over it because it has been a while. Grief is a wild ride, and healing has no timeline. Take your time. It is not your responsibility to respond to everyone immediately at all times. Just because social media allows constant communication does not mean you are constantly available. More times than not, it's nothing personal. We're all just trying to find some semblance of a balance in this overwhelming, always on world.
Yes to that. Could you read that one more time for me? I need that one. That one's for me, Lord of Light.
It is not your responsibility to respond to everyone immediately at all times. Just because social media allows constant communication doesn't mean you are constantly available. More times than not, it's nothing personal. We're all just trying to find a semblance of balance in this overwhelming, always on world.
Good googly moogly. Thank you.
Googly moogly. You are not responsible for your trauma, but you are responsible for reclaiming your life. It is not your responsibility to shrink yourself to resurrect outdated versions of your being. Hang on one more time because that was churchy. It is not your responsibility to shrink yourself or resurrect outdated versions of your being. You don't owe anyone a smaller, less authentic version of you just to fit their comfort zone. Your growth is non-negotiable. Embrace your revolution. Does it say revolution or evolution? It says evolution.
It definitely says evolution, but I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let you have it, girl.
You are not responsible for weathering every storm alone because you don't want to bother anyone. Ask for help, love. And then I got an ad for their book that is out. Not sure who needs to hear this, but
Yeah. So juicy today. We got an amen from Angie over on TikTok who's watching behind the scenes, and I'm grateful for community. I'm grateful for positive community. I'm grateful for spiritual community. I'm grateful for belonging to myself and belonging to people like all of you. Earlier in the week, we were in a clubhouse room, and it was on a day where I was being very bothersome to Tara in the community, and she transmuted it in real time into a line from one of those movies she watches where the person says, "Bother me, baby."
Bother me, baby. Bother me for the rest of my life.
Bother me for the rest of my life. So I am thrilled and honored to be bothered by all of you in the area of love and what it means to be in loving relationships. And for the next 4 weeks, we're going to be focusing on that. Priolo and I, we're going to be guided by Poppy Water's 7-Day Pillar Challenge. Be on the lookout for physical copies of those books going on sale really, really soon. We got to fund a car. And we have designers of album covers and publishers and all kinds of people in-house that can make dreams come to fruition. So just stick close, everybody, as we continue to grow it. What's up?
Okay, so I went and found the clip. I dropped it in the Clubhouse crew in WhatsApp, but also I imagine that the movie is called The Choice. Called The Choice.
All right, y'all. This is how we
Personal privilege.
Yes.
You should probably take a knee, son.
Dad!
Right. Thanks. Gabby. I think I pretty much said all the words. So all I need is a lifetime to prove it to you. Will you marry me?
No.
Well, yes.
No!
Yes!
No!
Yes!
No!
Yes! Come bother me, baby. Bother me for the rest of my life. Be my wife. Gabby.
No!
Child.
It takes me out.
Are you crying now about it?
Out. Because I know what happens.
What
and it's really sad.
What in the hallmark is happening? Okay, what's the name of that movie?
It's called The Choice.
The Choice. And what network does it stream on? Do we know?
No, we do not know. The Choice.
Oh my
The
God.
Choice 2016.
2016. Child.
Where-
We gotta figure.
Where can we view it?
It's on Prime.
It's on Roku.
It's on Prime. Yeah.
Time.
And on Roku. All right, we're gonna. That's more popcorn will be needed. All right, y'all. So we're doing the pre-record for the Root Chakra Day 1, which is technically tomorrow for us. So on tomorrow, as you're tuned in on Spotify, Substack app, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, just know that we're going forward with week 17. And every Sunday we gather to root ourselves in our I am. And that includes foundations of trust, which we'll be talking about today. And that means building safe, steady ground in our friendships. And boy, do Tara and I have PhDs in that and what it means to, and in many of our relationships, our partners, our spouses, our external business collaborators and colleagues. We do consider ourselves on varying degrees of trust and love to be in friendships with these folks. And it's important that people feel safe and steady in the ground of your friendship. And so just know that as courtesy of the House of Mommy Water, we root ourselves in the root chakra every Sunday. This chakra is all about safety, stability, and belonging. And there isn't a person on the planet that doesn't want to feel safe, that doesn't want to feel stable, and doesn't want to belong. In fact, we talk about it in Deconstruction Junction, which we recorded earlier today, that a lot of the red hats and the MAGA folks that you're seeing, including Blue MAGA, this is all happening because they just simply have a deeply rooted need, as we all do, to belong to something. And it doesn't matter if it's evil. They still like the feeling of belonging because that's tied into our safety and stability. And true friendship starts with trust and feeling grounded in the trust of your relationship. I'm going to start off by asking Priolo today. You've been walking the sponsored House of Mommy Water 7-day pillar challenge for well over a year now. What has been the biggest teaching that you've gleaned from Root Chakra Day and the mantra I am? Like, how has being aware of your root chakra, because she was not a chakra person. Now, I was primed to chakras and crystals and all kinds of metaphysical woo-woo. That's why I married Poppy. She did not marry Poppy, and she did not know anything about like chakras or schmakras. And then here we go on this journey. I'm like, get in the car, girl. We're going to the crystal shop.
Crystal shop.
Which is an oversimplification of really large, vast belief systems for people and how they tap into themselves and their inner divinity. But I did make her get in the car and say, look, we're doing 7 days of chakras. If we're coming back into harmony and you're going to be on the air, you're going to have to sell it. And I think that in the process of her selling the chakras, some of it actually began to integrate, and she began to see how important it can be to take time weekly to center and ground in the truth. Does it serve you still?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've learned over the last, really probably decade of personal development, building up my business, all of that stuff, walking through life and digging into liberation work. I think I have come to realize that most people are talking about the same exact shit, just calling it different things, right? So I talk about grounding in your lower body in a voice lesson. I just don't call it grounding in your chakra, right? Grounding into your root chakra. And so for me, the chakras are actually one of the easiest things I could get behind because they are ancient. They are, and they're not designed necessarily to ascribe to or force a belief. They're just things that exist in our bodies, about like when you are in harmony with your body, when you are able to ground yourself in your steps, which I talk about in musical theater and in opera. Like, if you have to move on stage, you're going to have to figure out how to ground your voice in your body. Like you do have to figure that out. You have to take a step. And you cannot stand there shaking like a leaf forever. Yeah.
You're going to have to move, child.
Right. So I find, like, for me, the root chakra, I rarely call, unless I'm in this situation, I rarely talk about the root chakra proper, but I am constantly talking about grounding yourself. And this lowering, like that is a lot of the work of voice lessons, is lowering the stakes of the breath, right? Lowering down into your body. How low can you get? Can you breathe into your pinky toe? Is your pinky toe tight? Is your big toe tight? How about your kneecap? How's that doing? How's your calf doing? And so when I'm talking about that, this is essentially the same thing. So like I said, I find that most people are talking about the same shit, just calling it different things. And when you have an open mind, honest, open, willing, and available mind, then you are able to see all of the things. And speaking of breath, we have a, I don't know, did we read this? True friendship starts with trust and feeling grounded together. I think it takes vulnerability to be grounded together. And I would love to lead a breath exercise that's very similar to our Black liturgies. So our mindfulness practice today, we're going to breathe in and we're going to say something, we're going to exhale. Okay, so inhale with me. I am safe. And exhale. I am supported. One more time. Inhale. I am safe. Exhale. I am supported. We'll do it one more time, and you can also imagine roots growing from your feet and connecting you to a friend. I'll pause here before we do it the last time, and I'll just say I have been watching The Last of Us and relearning about the cordyceps, which connect all of these zombies, and you can pull up a cordyceps and like 20,000 zombies come running at you. And so that is my current, like the web of fungi is my current connection. So one more time, breathing in. I am safe, and exhale. I am supported. I am safe and I am supported. And those roots can be long, y'all. Have you ever looked at the root patterns of trees? They infinitely connected. Infinitely connected. Do you want to talk about the teaching for today, Dr. Flo? We have no audio on you, babe.
I could jump right back in. Today's teaching is all about the root chakra and our foundations of trust. Of course, Tara and I have been talking for the last 17 minutes off and on about what it means to build safe and steady ground in our friendships. And it's important for us to acknowledge today that solid friendships are built on reliability, showing up consistently, and creating a safe emotional space. Now, Tara and I have varying opinions about this. I am not safe for everybody. And there's a huge move in society by the nice police to create conditions where everybody has to be, I'm safe for everyone. Well, you know who I'm not safe for? I'm not safe for bigots. I'm not safe for people who are transphobic. I'm not safe for transphobic people. I'm not safe for child abusers. I'm not safe for people who perpetuate harm. But I am safe to those who want to create emotional safe spaces. And that happens in all of my close friendships. That's that last tenet there. And also, I find the people in my life to be incredibly reliable. Even the ones who are distant and kind of avoiding me, they're reliably distant. And even in their support, they're supporting me from a distance, but that reliability says something about the type of person that they want to become and the promises that they want to keep. Important to note, because it may not be so overt, right? And there may not be words. Sometimes you have to read between the lines. Oh, this person is still seeking to be reliable to me in the ways that best support the circumstances. Important to have that in solid friendships. And also the showing up consistently. We just had a conversation before I stepped up to set about our new check-in system, or new old check-in system with Love and Action Network. And we have really been working behind the scenes on trying to fine-tune the ways in which we show up consistently for the community, and then ask them to actually lean into being a true mutual support network. And being mutually supportive to your friends means that you are giving in your time, your talent, and your treasure in all of the ways that you can if you have it. And people who want to be in solid friendship, the reason why friendships and relationships disintegrate is because people at some point decide they don't want to be consistent. They want to phone it in that day or not show up at all. And those things break down trust one to another. And so what we're trying to do right now is create opportunities for people to say, I am yours and you are mine, which is a cue. That is a total cue.
Game of Thrones?
Yeah, it's Game of Thrones. And then there's like something in Aida, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I'm hearing a score, but it could be just the voices in my head playing all of the cellos and violins. But showing up consistently for your people is important, and they will thank you for it. They really will thank you for it. All right, the last thing I want to discuss in today's teaching about the root chakra is, oh my goodness, there's a beauty in friendships that feel like home. There's a beauty in the friendships that feel like home. Have you ever been friends with a person and you didn't see them for like 6-10 years? But the moment that you did see them, or the moment that they did pick up the phone, it was just like you never were apart. Tara and I, in talking about foundations of trust, we took a 10-month separation in the midst of our relationship in order to, recalibrate. But when we did come back into harmony on the opposite side of it all, we found that there's home here in this relationship. It's like there's so much overlap of childhood performance trauma and being different under a society where they want everyone to be the same. I mean, I could go down the list of all of the things that are in our Venn diagram in the sky, but what that contributes to is a feeling of home. Take off your shoes, put up your feet. Here's a nice sparkly drink, and just be yourself. And I will hold that. I will hold that with you and for you. And Tara, what is the thing that you find the most beautiful about the relationships in your life that feel cozy and homey?
I find the most beautiful.
Yeah, what do you extract?
I think the reason that I value them is because they don't extract a lot. Like, I get the most trusted relationships that I have, I'm able to truly just be like at liberty to just chill. Like, and the one I'll use, and maybe it's because they are still not speaking, but my child, like, that is a trusted relationship. Like,
I'm gagging.
They do not. They think mom is the funniest thing in the world when mom starts dancing crazy in the kitchen. They think that it's funny to come up to mom and start laughing like that. And it's a lot to raise a kid. So y'all out there, parents that are like, oh my God, she's saying that it's not hard to be a parent. No, it's hard to be a parent. But that's a relationship that I can just be in, right? In the same way that, like, I've been with my husband it'll be 11 years on May 8th. That's how long I started dating my husband on May 8th officially.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. In 2014. 2014? Is that right? Yeah, that's the math. I get to just be, and I don't have to like think about, and maybe I should more, but I don't have to think about like the way in which I say things or the things that I think are funny. Do you ever like on your phone, you're like scrolling something and you're like, oh, I wonder if so-and-so would think this is funny, or I wonder if so-and-so would take this seriously, or da 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 da. And so then you just like end up not sending it. That's not my husband. Like, I literally last night I was like, I need to watch that episode of Last of Us again because I ugly cried through it and I can't get it out of my head. And he was like, okay. Like he's like down, like I can just be that. Whereas other people, I gotta be like, Dr. Flo, this is a bad example. It's a bad example, but it has to do with TV. I need you to watch Inside Out. You know, and I have to ask him 25 times. But Dr. Flo is actually a trusted relationship, so it's a bad example on that.
No, I'm not trusted to watch that damn movie. So
not that damn movie.
Everybody's trusted at something, but not at everything.
Yeah, and I think one of the things too, like you'll notice this, like Dr. Flo talks about this a lot in terms of when do we get to go off as the people that are encouragers? Like when do we get to turn our light switch off? He asked me earlier today, like when do you get to take your bra off? And I was like, Monday.
Wait, the context. Oh my God. Oh my.
No, I have a busy day. And so Dr. Flo was asking when I get to chill.
No, hold on now, because people will run away and say that Dr. Flo goes around asking people when they're going to take their bras off. That is not. I mean, I do, but I didn't in that way. I was using it as a metaphor. Everyone knows that women, especially the ones with the biggest of tatas, like to have a moment. They exclaim about it all the time when they like just unholstering their mammary pieces. And so I know that Tara has a very packed weekend. And so just to be cute, I asked her, so, you know, like you have a busy weekend. When are you going to be able to take off your bra? That's the full story. And when is it?
Monday. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's.
I'm not walking up to people in the grocery store asking them when they go take their bras off.
But see, this is a conversation rooted in trust and safety, which is the affirmation for today. I build friendships rooted in trust and safety. One more time. I build friendships rooted in trust and safety. The call.
You may want to consider today texting or calling a friend just to remind them that you're grateful for them. You know, no agenda, no connection. We have a challenge in this community that we ask our members to tell 5 people daily, strangers and or friends, that they are loved and lovable. And that they've always been loved and lovable, and they're always going to be loved and lovable, because there was a time that most of us can pinpoint. There's a time.
And then it all went wrong.
Oh my God. There was a time, y'all, when we decided that we weren't enough and that we weren't loved and lovable. There was a time, there was a period of time where I started to feel different and like I wasn't loved and lovable exactly as I am. It was about 6 or 7 years old. The bullying had started to pick up at grade school because I was always being pulled out of my class for accelerated learning. I really was not learning what the dum-dums. Let me not do that. Let me not do that. But I wasn't in Gen Pop in school ever. Beginning in elementary school, middle school, and high school, I was always in AP classes or college classes in high school. And so when you start getting singled out for being good at something, the rest of the hyenas on Pride Rock will try to come for you. And
Are you gay?
I just was like in my elementary school, I was all of a sudden like on the hallways, and it's like these are people who are these are kids, right? These are kids.
Yeah, presumably.
No. I'm talking about like the kids at my elementary school. These are children who, not presumably, there were other 6, 7, and 8-year-olds that were reflecting back to me daily that I wasn't enough. You know, I was literally like on the marble tile floors and kind of thinking about like the things that I was teased about. And this is like we got to end this podcast episode soon, but the thing that came to mind was like, I'm being teased for the way I walk. And then trying to course correct the way I walk to be acceptable to people who did not live in my house. You know, and then not being defended, you know, by my family because I'm the one with sugar in my tank.
Right.
Right? So I deserve to be bullied at school. My family feels that I deserve to be bullied because I've got sugar in my tank. And if I remove the sugar from my tank, then I'm acceptable. And that was about the time that I started to feel feedback from the community. I should say communities. I was teased by black adults, white adults, black children, white children. Everybody was teasing the sissy. That sang. Right? And so that was about the time that I learned that I wasn't loved and lovable. Tara, I'm always like shoving you downstage. When was a time in your life when you got external communication that you were not loved and lovable exactly as you are? And then I'll let you land this smoothly.
Well, I was, you know, I was heavily bullied as a kid. I don't really know why, aside from I looked different and kids are mean. Some kids are mean, man. So I was just bullied, like literally just for who I was. And also like being a expressive child in terms of like my emotions. Like I was always like, the teachers just really did not enjoy me. Well, and then it became intelligence, and that was well into adulthood, that like it was always that threatening thing, you know, like, oh my gosh, like even like one of my first voice teachers, like she didn't really teach me because she was so threatened by the fact that I might come take her job. Like, I'm not trying for your job, girl. I'm 18. I'm in college. Like, I ain't coming. So I've had a lot of those situations. In particular, I remember the one. Hi, baby. I remember the one where I talk about this a lot in terms of like my earliest musical memory is from when I was 5 years old, and I forgot the words on stage, and I came off, and one of the adults just yelled at me. Just yelled at me and told me how dumb I was, told me that I would never amount to anything, you know, da 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 da, all because I forgot one word as the wise men at the stupid church show when I was 5. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was, and it's a white church, folks. Don't get it twisted. Like, it was that kind of show. Okay.
Don't worry about that, because the black people will try to pray. They'll try to put about a gallon of oil on your fucking forehead and pray the gay away. So
right.
Everybody got issues.
So yeah, I feel
we
like
all got pain.
we all got pain. Yeah. I found, I will say, in like my 20s, my upper teens and my 20s, I had a really hard time trusting people and learning how to trust people. And like, as Her Story True has said multiple times in our community, like trusting people to handle me, because I was taught as a kid that no one could handle me, and that like I needed to be different in order to be handled with care and be handled properly. And that's just like not true. Like, we were talking about this on Deconstruction Junction, but like, it doesn't actually matter what you do. Like, even if you commit a crime, you still deserve to eat. You still deserve to belong. You still deserve to be a human. And the weird thing about like, oh, you're slightly different in some way from me. Like, the thing that I always got teased for, there were two things. Like, number one, the number one question was like, why are you so exotic? Especially when I got like above 10, right? Or why is your nose so wide? It's a black thing, y'all black people, you know, right? Why is your nose so wide?
I love it.
Like, that's what I was always teased for, and because I was so different, I was extricated from the community, and it was acted like I needed to change something or I needed to whatever in order to eventually fit in. So yeah, I'm glad I learned how to
Sorry those assholes, young and old, did that to you. And we walk in forgiveness around here. We walk in forgiveness. We've been talking about this for like the last 10 days in our network, in the morning rooms and the afternoon rooms. What would it feel like for you to forgive yourself today?
Right.
And then forgive those who were intentionally dwelling. Huh?
I said, who trespassed against us. We forgive those who trespass against us.
The trespassers. Can you forgive the trespassers for the good of the order? For the good of the order, can you forgive your trespassers? Those who trespass against you.
Trespassers.
Oh my goodness. On behalf of Tara Priolo Studio, Poppy Water, who helps us to produce and create content around the chakras, and Her Story True and Poppy Water, who did an amazing job last Friday maintaining a spiritually centered and grounded creative workshop space where people could bring their own beliefs. In fact, one of the ladies who performed, I wish that should have been recorded, girl. Angie, her second piece was a total prayer. The only thing that she didn't say at the end of it was amen. I was like, is she praying?
Hallelujah, amen.
I said, what in the Jesus Herbert Christ has happened on this stage? So yeah, y'all, if y'all want to come into smile, support, shenanigans, and songs we offer, and other creative, wonderfully juicy endeavors, just consider going to our website. And I'm supposed to check what's up. Okay. All right. On behalf of Tara Priolo Studio, the lovely gentleman who's texted me right now, and awesome Angie, and Her Story True, Jimmy Jams, Loretta, Cece, cousin Deb in Canada, on behalf of all of us in the network, we invite you to have a wonderful week. This week's theme is going to be love and relationships, building strong friendships. Tara will be here some days. I'll be here the others. All of the replays available on Substack, Spotify, Apple Music, and Google Podcasts, or wherever you source your joy. Stay in your power, stay in your joy, stay loved and lovable, and we will see you